All right, let's get right into it. We all talk a big game about ChatGPT, but how are people really using it, out in the wild? We might think it's all about coding and drafting emails, but some incredible new research from OpenAI and Harvard gives us a look under the hood, and what they found is way more surprising.
So first things first, let's just try to wrap our heads around the scale we're dealing with, because it is absolutely mind-boggling. By mid-2025, ChatGPT is looking at something like 700 million weekly active users. That's just a staggering number for any piece of technology, new or old.
And to put that number into perspective, that's about 10% of the entire adult population of the planet. The paper even notes that for a new technology to spread this far, this fast, well, there's just no historical precedent for it, at all.
Okay, but here's where this story takes a really fascinating twist. The common assumption, right, the one we all kind of have, is that ChatGPT is a productivity machine. It's a tool for work. Well, it turns out the data, it tells a very, very different story.
Just take a look at these numbers. Back in June of 2024, things were already starting to lean toward non-work activities. But the real kicker is the jump that happens in just 1 year. By June 2025, boom, non-work usage just explodes to 73%. It completely takes over as the main way people are interacting with this thing.
I mean, let that sink in. We're talking about almost 3 out of every 4 conversations people are having with ChatGPT having absolutely nothing to do with their paid job. This completely flips the script on how we should be thinking about its impact.
So, that leads to the crucial question. If it's not all for work, what on earth are people doing? What's inside that huge 73% slice of the pie? Well, lucky for us, the research gives us a playbook.
And it turns out it's not a million different things. Actually, nearly 80% of all conversations fall into what the researchers call the big 3. And they are getting practical guidance, writing, and seeking information. These 3 activities just dwarf everything else.
But wait a minute. Practical guidance and seeking information sound kind of similar, right? What's the difference? Well, the paper has a perfect analogy for this. Think about a marathon runner. If they ask for the Boston Marathon qualifying times, that's seeking information. It's a fact. But if that same runner asks for a customized workout plan based on their own fitness level, now that's practical guidance. One is just data. The other is tailored advice.
And this distinction between facts and advice actually unlocks a really simple but brilliant framework the paper introduces. It's called asking versus doing. Asking is pretty straightforward. It's when you're seeking advice or info to help you make a decision. Doing is when you want an actual output. You want it to do the thing, like draft an email or write a piece of code.
So when you map those top categories onto this framework, it gets really clear. Practical guidance and seeking information, those are overwhelmingly asking activities. People are using AI to help them think. Meanwhile, writing and creating multimedia, that's classic doing. The AI is producing the output for them. Okay, so we know what people are doing, but who are they? Because if you're picturing the stereotypical early adopter tech bro, well, that image is completely out of date. The user base is changing, and it's changing fast.
And this right here is one of the most remarkable findings. Just after launch, the user base was something like 80% male. But that gap has closed, and I mean dramatically. By mid-2025, it's pretty much a parity, with slightly more active users now having typically feminine first names. Wow.
And the diversification doesn't stop there. The user base is also incredibly young. Get this, nearly half of all messages from adults are from users under 26. Its global reach is exploding, with the fastest growth now happening in low- and middle-income countries. And, interestingly, when it is used for work, it's most often by highly educated professionals. So, let's put all these pieces of the puzzle together. We have massive non-work usage, a huge focus on asking for advice, and these interesting patterns among professional users. What does this tell us about the real economic value of a tool like ChatGPT? This is the key insight right here. When you zero in on those highly paid, knowledge-based workers, you find they are using ChatGPT more for asking than for doing. They aren't just using it to automate tasks. They're using it as an advisor, as a sounding board, to help them make better decisions. The paper's conclusion says it perfectly. They write that ChatGPT's real value comes from providing decision support, which is especially critical in jobs where high-quality decision-making is the name of the game. It's not a task doer, it's a tool for thought.
And this leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. After looking at all this data, you have to wonder, is the biggest impact of this technology not in the tasks it automates for us, but in how it fundamentally helps us think, decide, and create?